Afternoon, people. Welcome to the latest episode of BNR's Transfer Daily Show. With me today is Enz. I've got a bit of bored. I thought Gene's got a partner in Shide. He was getting all. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go on. I thought it was an echo then.
All right. Okay.
I
Okay.
fixed it. All right, I fixed it.
But it's a big welcome to you all. It's a big welcome to Enz as well. It's your debut show. We like to be
It is.
handing out a few debuts on BNR. Hopefully, Liverpool have been handing out a few jerseys themselves, whether they're number 10, whether it's the number 27, uh, whatever. As long as a new number on the back of the red shirt, that's all that matters. But Enz, it's a big, big welcome to you. It should have happened a long time ago, if I'm honest. But we just can't catch each other. But we finally made it. How are you, man? And thanks for taking a bit of time out to join us on screen today. All the chat will know who you are, but I've got your channel. But whilst I do that, how are you doing, my friend? And it's a big welcome to you.
Listen, appreciate it, bro. Appreciate the obviously the debut as well. But listen, my conversion rate will be good, so don't worry. We'll make sure we put the ball in the back of the net. Big up to the chat first and foremost as well, guys. Make sure we're doing that great stuff by smashing a like on the video. But man, been great. Enjoying the Liverpool saga of the transfer window. This small transfer window we have, seen the crazy meltdowns, the players that everyone want, the players that they don't want. So it's been really interesting to see, bro.
100%, 100%. Let's dive into it straight away. And like En said, there's his link for his channel. Please show him love and support, and I'm sure you always do. Our chat is really engaging. I'm sure you've dipped in and out of some of the shows, Ends, but
100%.
they show a lot of love to us, and I'm sure they'll show a lot of love to you as well. So head over to his channel and smash a like and all on his shows, and more importantly, subscribe to his channel. Let's dive into. I woke up early and there was a bit of a few when Josh on the Anfield sector is aggregating at 8 o'clock in the morning. I thought, you know what? It might be a good day. It might be the day that we make the breakthrough on Wirtz. But more on Wirtz shortly. It's Rehan Cherki. He's been linked here and there all summer to us, and even a bit of last year. But what do you think of the player? What do you think of the links? Are you surprised, especially after we've been involved in the Wirtz deal for the best part of the last 2 weeks? What do you make of it all, mate?
In terms of the player, man, he's a fantastic player. I don't know why no one's really gone in for him over the last few years. Technically gifted, can score you a goal, assist, he can create. So I just don't understand it. I know there was rumors and people just probably speculating about, maybe who he is as a person. And I know we had Klopp before on a slot, and we knew Klopp's philosophy. He didn't want players that could unrest or, disrupt the dressing room. So maybe that was one of the reasons why we never went in for him, even though we've been linked with him for so many years. When I saw the links, I was like, okay, cool. This was well before the range, before the Florian Wirtz stuff. So I was like, okay, all right, interesting. Let's see what we can do. 25 million, no brainer. This was back in January, I think it was. So it was like 25 million euros, I think at the time was like, no brainer. Might as well go and get him. Worst case scenario, you don't really lose out. It's only 25 million euros. But yeah, I don't know why we haven't gone for him, but now we've got the Florian Wirtz stuff. I'm not really fussed now about getting Ryan Cherki. I'm not gonna lie. He's more.
I'm with you.
He's more of a 10 than I think Ryan is. I think Ryan can play across the front, or let's say right, left, and 10, but he can float across. But where I look at Florian Wirtz, I think he's a 10, and I think that's what we need.
I'm with you on that, Ends. So do you think with the news coming out of the meeting that he had with Slot in the south of France last week, do you think this is an old story? Well, it is an old story, but do you think it's only come out now? Is Liverpool were doing their due diligence on the player? There wasn't a definite yes at that time from Florian Wirtz. So Liverpool were making inroads into maybe a backup option as well. Or do you see Liverpool maybe looking at that position of Wirtz and the Harvey Elliott position? Most likely he's going to leave this summer. He's not trusted, if I may call it that, in a respectful manner by the manager because of his lack of physicality. We've talked about it before. But do you think Wirtz maybe can do bits on the left-hand side, bits on the false nine? And we're looking at Ryan Cherki as well. as an option to replace Harvey Elliott?
I think you're right. I think it's a mixture of all three. And the other one I want to add is, so you've mentioned too, in terms of we're just doing our due diligence and looking for players and making sure we've ticked all boxes. Also looking at Harvey Elliott could be leaving. That's a possibility. I also think as well, it's tactical. It's tactical. I think it's because where we've not hit a stumbling block in the Florian Wirtz stuff, I think we're gonna get a deal done, but I think it's to let them know, let both, like all the parties know, him, let his agent know, let the club know that we were looking at other players and we are looking at other players. So if you guys want to haggle us over 5 million, so I think it's a bit of each one of those. I think it's come out at the right time when they've rejected what we want to say 2 bids reportedly. So when we've gone back in now with the third one, I think they want to say, look, you guys want to play ball or you want to long us out. We know he wants to come to us. We know we're the only party in here. But also, we could save our money if you don't want. We can save it and go and get this guy. And I think that's one of the reasons as well. But partly what you mentioned with the.
So you think the hierarchy at Liverpool have made a call to David Ornstein
100%.
and put an article out just to ramp up the pressure to Leverkusen, yeah?
It makes no sense for it to come out now, apart from those reasons. So the 2 you mentioned and the one I've just kind of added, because I don't see like why is it relevant now? Don't make sense. We're already going after the player we want. We've already made it known. We've already kind of accepted that he's going to go to Manchester City. So why would that? Unless they're bored, maybe the journals are bored today and they just wanted to throw a story at it. I don't know, but I'm leaning towards we're close to agreeing something, but there's like a small little stumbling block, and they're just like, we were going after other midfielders as well. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's it as well.
The one thing I would mention is I read in the article ends is everyone has presumed the Ryan Cherki deal is going to be around about 20 to 25 million pounds. According to David Ornstein, I don't know if you caught the article, he mentioned that there's no release clause, and Lyon, even though Ryan Cherki's got 1 year left on his contract, they're looking for a much bigger fee than the assumed 20 to 25 million pounds. So I know he's been linked to City. I think he'll end up at City as well. So once he leaves, do you think City get him around 20 to 25 million, or do you see the 30, 35 million, 40 million maybe at a stretch?
I think they're obviously going to try and get the best value they can for their star players, right? And even though with a year left, 25 mil for him is quite low, you know, with the age profile, the talent of the player, and, you know, maybe how good he can possibly get with Pep Guardiola as his manager. But I think they can get a bit more. I think they could probably say to City, look, you know, he's our star player. We know that was it. We can get somewhere around 30 to 35 million. And I think City won't mind paying that because, to be fair, that's not a lot of money for a talented player as, you know, Ryan Cherki. So I think the 35 or 30, I think that's a good mark, even though I know that the touted price was 25. I didn't get to read the article, so yeah, maybe they can find maybe a middle ground, 27, 28. I think that's probably a middle ground for both parties. But yeah.
You know, if we weren't linked with Wirtz, there was a few fans who still I see on my Twitter is they want the Wirtz deal to, you know, collapse.
Why?
And then they want, because there's a lot of Ryan Cherki fans. For me, it feels like he's a bit of he's got a cult following online.
Yeah.
But there are still a minority, and it must be stressed, there's still a minority that want Cherki over Wirtz. Surely you're not in that camp by ends?
No, listen, I prefer, like I said earlier, I prefer Ryan Cherki's a baller and I rate him highly as well. But I do understand. I look at the team and I go, I don't really need a floater. I know Florian Wirtz can float and he's played over the left-hand side a bit as well, and he operates in terms of, but I want a 10. I want a true 10 within this team. We've been crying out for this type of player for years. We've been so used to using our fullbacks as the main creators, and then Salah on his own doing his stuff. Yeah. Now you put someone in the 10 role, it frees up the fullbacks to now just get crosses into the box. It frees up Salah, take a lot of strain off of him creativity-wise. And also it takes a lot of the pressure with obviously Trent going to Madrid as well. And he was, you'd say, quote unquote, maybe our second or if not main creator from the fullback areas. So I would prefer Florian Wirtz, to be fair, bro, even though Ryan Cherki is a baller.
He certainly is a baller. He certainly is a baller. We've got our first super chat of the day. Thank you very much, Ethan Chadwick. Big up for your super chat. No question. Just wanted to show appreciation for the channel. Enjoyed the thread you posted on Wirtz yesterday, Ethan. Thank you so much. Most kind. So smash a like, keep subscribing to the channel, grow the BNR family, and head over to Ends TV as well. We've pinned. We're gonna put the link in the description as well. So head over and show Ends all your love and support as well today. A few people are saying, why not get both? Gene put it up as well. And I do worry about, look, Ryan Cherki, you just said he's a baller, but I think once we've got Wirtz, we've got 2-3 positions covered. He is one of the best, if not the best number 10 in the world. And I just don't see the need. I'd rather go spend that 20, 30, 40 million pounds in other areas where we can reinforce this team. Left back, right back are more or less done. Centre mid is another is another position that we should be looking at. Centre back is another position we should be looking at. So I think we've got other priorities after we get Wirtz.
Yeah, so you speak about centre back. Obviously, we wanted to get Hoyson. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I think we wanted to go and get him until Real Madrid stepped in and got. So we know the club is looking for a centre back as well. Whether the priorities now changed and we're going to pivot somewhere else, I don't know. Then I saw like links to Edison from Atalanta. That's a defensive midfielder, the type of robust midfielder we need in the team as well. And then you're right. Once we get the 10 position, we need to probably get some support from Mohamed Salah as well, because we've given him a 2-year extension for the club. You need someone else out there as well. I know we've got Chiesa at the moment, but we don't know what's going to happen with him over the next, the course of the transfer window. But we do need some support on that side. So I think those areas, centre back, DM, right wing, I think, unless obviously the reports, but I've seen conflicting reports about Luis Diaz as well. I don't know if you want to cover that, but unless those reports are true on either side, then you'd probably be looking for that position as well. But for me, centre back is a priority, and I think a defensive, deep line playmaker style player we need in this team as well.
Do you see the coaching staff and the management looking at Frimpong doing right back shifts? Obviously, because we've got Connor Bradley there as well, they'll be fighting it out. But the comfortable levels of Frimpong playing right wing as well as he did with Leverkusen, right wing / right wing back for them. Do you see Chiesa leaving and they see Frimpong at right back and right wing? AFCON is coming up in January. Salah will be leaving. Do you see him covering there for the time being?
That's a possibility. Obviously, he's a player that can play in that position, right? But the only thing you have is that with Connor Bradley's injury concerns, you don't really want to have both your right backs playing at the same times. That unideally. I think if you need to, it works. And I think if for an example in the game, we don't have that explosiveness down that side, you could go right, Bradley, you stay, Salah, you can shift somewhere else, or you take him off and you put Frimpong in there, and then you can use him, as that explosives type winger trying to get the ball in the box and see if you can get a goal for the forwards and stuff. But I don't know. I think we need to still go and get someone there. I would rather you go, right, those are your two right backs, Bradley and Frimpong, and then you go and get someone else. You go and get someone else as that winger. Chiesa, I saw a report today saying, obviously, they asked him about Juve, would he like to go back there?
Yeah.
He said yes, but obviously he got told when he was there to go and find a new club. He did, and he's become a Premier League champion in that moment. But yeah, I don't know. I really like Chiesa as well, but I don't know. I don't know if the manager trusts him. He's just giving him bare minimum minutes this season and played him because the fan base probably made a point about it. I think that's why he's probably played, or he wouldn't have. But
made a point so strong they ended up, releasing probably the best Liverpool song there is. So for that particular reason, we can't make him leave. I think even if he leaves, that'll be sung in the COP for years down the line. But let's go to Wirtz then, Ends. Okay. A lot of people are messaging me. I'm sure a lot of people are messaging you. They just want it over and done with, and lacking a bit of patience now, frustration as well, in all fairness. But how do you see the deal over the next couple of days? Surely we see some sort of breakthrough.
Do you know I'll take you back to even when we did the Virgil one, we spoke to him and then we had to wait all the way to the other transfer window to kind of get his deal through the door. But taking it to Florian Wirtz, he's one of the best number 10s in the world, if not, the best number 10, as you alluded to earlier. These type of deals with this amount of money, with the brand deals, with the rights and stuff like, there's so much work that we don't get to see, I think, from the fans. And I'm not going to speak for all of you, but from the ones I've spoken to, the way they look at it is, why don't we just pay the money and we get the player? Ideally, yes, on FIFA and Football Manager, fantastic. That's how it works. In the real life, though, there's so many different obstacles you have to go through, and that's the stumbling block, how you structure the payments as well. Maybe they want a more upfront. Maybe they want, we've seen reports saying they want a player, whether or not that's, true. They wanted Elliot or Kwanzaa. Liverpool like, no, they obviously can get a better value for him if they keep them and sell them. So there's so much more in-depth detail that we don't get to see behind the scenes. And that's why it's taking so long. This is not like an average transfer for an average player. This is one of the best players in the world, a very young player as well in that, and what he's achieved in the game so far and still yet to. It has to be right for every party. Obviously, he wants to move to us. His camp wants to move to us. We want him to move to us. But the club that's losing one of their best players, they've lost one of their best centre-backs. They've lost their best wing-back. They've lost their manager. So they need to get the best possible deals so that they can rebuild their team. So that's the only reason why we're in this position at the moment. You're on mute, by the way. I don't know if you...
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I was talking about Ben, so that's why I went on mute. Well, big up. Good to see him in the building. And he's launching a channel very, very soon. So stay tuned for that and make sure you show the brother a lot of love as well. I want to ask you about the Wirtz deal. How do you think Liverpool have seen him playing for Germany? He's got a game Wednesday, I think. Then he's got either a third place playoff and a final on Sunday ends. Do you think Liverpool see it as, you know what, we've got a week to maybe get the best deal, the best structure? I think someone mentioned it in the chat that we need the structure on point so we can keep spending as well. We've got 2-3 signings to hopefully come at the latter stages of the window. So we don't want to burn ourselves out in terms of finances. Secondly, do you think Liverpool think, okay, he's not going to realistically come over for a medical, so we've got a week to work out the best deal? I don't know how exactly the deals work. Let's say, hopefully not, God forbid, something seriously happens on Wednesday and Liverpool tie up the deal on Tuesday. Wednesday, he picks up a long-term injury. What happens to the deal? Is he a Liverpool player? I know he signs a Liverpool until he signs officially, he becomes a Liverpool player. But surely there's other agreements, mini agreements that take place within the deal as well.
Yeah, I think obviously where he's away, there's nothing we can kind of do about that. That could happen with him, tripping on the runway and hurting his leg, or
Yeah, exactly.
Flying. So anything can kind of happen. I think once there's an agreement, once there is, the medical kind of tied up. If you're going with the idea of by Tuesday the deal's tied up and he's a Liverpool player, apart from like officially signing on the dotted line, I don't think you can go back from that, because we would have to pay somewhat of a compensation because he wouldn't have been traveling or whatever it may be. So, and I'm sure on the other end as well, there might be a bit of compensation on either side as well because he's away. But we don't know at this point. We just kind of want this deal across the line. But taking it back to your original point, because we know we've got a week and he's going to play Wednesday and I think it's Friday or one of the other days, it's we've got that whole time to kind of try and structure a deal. But the problem is, us as fans, we don't want to wait that long. Every 24 hours seems like a week to us at the moment, and it wouldn't feel like this if we didn't believe the player was that good. If we didn't think the player was going to be a massive upgrade or a massive change within the team, would be like, okay, that's fine. Like we were with the Frimpong one. We didn't really mind. We kind of just got on with it. Okay, Frimpong's a player. The Kirkes one, we're like, okay, yeah, he'll join. Yeah, we're cool with that. But this one is the one that we know it's the marker in the season where other clubs will be like, damn. And that's why I think there's a lot of like split between us as fans. Some people crashing out, some people, just can't be calm. But we'll try and bring you the news as soon as we can. I'm sure the journals will as well.
100%. Keep smashing that like button, people. Let's get it up to around 200 until we're live. And I'm going to put you on the spot.
Go on.
Gut feeling. When do we get that breakthrough for Wirtz deal?
So what we had two bids rejected so far, reportedly. We've also said now we don't want to transfer any players within that deal. They want close to 125. We went a 19, I think it was 110. We sold Kelleher within that period to get him probably by the end of the week, bro. I think by the end of this, let's say what we're in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let's say I hope it's today, but I'm gonna go with I think Friday. I think if they haven't sorted something by now and Friday, I don't see where we go from that point. It has to be. It has to be. Because Fabrizio keeps telling us it's literally, signed and sealed kind of thing. But
so you're going with Florian Friday then, yeah?
Florian is that the hashtag now?
That's the hashtag. That's the hashtag.
Hashtag Florian Friday.
I would prefer a Wirtz Wednesday.
So you get to hear we go today and then tomorrow he signs? Is that what you're saying?
No. I don't think he'll sign. A breakthrough.
So what's a break? Because the only breakthrough left is them accepting a bid.
Yes.
So that means he's our player because he wants to come to us. So
so
that means it would be Wednesday then. Because if we say for today, there's they've agreed this fee. He would either we send our medical team there or he'll come here, do the medical, and then go back and join the camp. One of the two. So that means he could be our player
on Monday after the Sunday game. He might be doing some stuff in Germany, but his main medical will be at Liverpool, won't it?
But we've seen in the past they've sent their teams there, don't they? They send them over there to do the medical.
Yeah. At least says it can't be tomorrow. He has a game, but Leverkusen hierarchy is not playing a game, are they? Our negotiations are with the club, not with Wirtz. All that is done, I presume.
And plus, even though he has a game, they will not play games if they need to go and sign, because at the end of the day, international football is obviously massive for them, but their club is where they get their bread and butter from. So they're gonna have to certain things. So if they go right, there's a breakthrough. Liverpool need you to go here. So let's look out for tomorrow if he's not in the squad. We'll wait for the lineup, and if he's not in the squad for tomorrow's game, then there's something. Let's go with that.
Yeah, I just think, look, you're right. We've seen in the past where players go into in the same country when the Liverpool team or the buying company fly out, like you said. But I just think we might hear something.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Hopefully, or if not by the end of the week, and then the whole process accelerates after the game on Sunday. He comes to Liverpool to complete his medical. I think that's probably most realistic.
Is that because obviously the games? Why you're thinking that? Because of the games you think he'll play? But at the same time, remember, for both parties, this is a massive contract deal. This is a massive financial deal in terms of us spending. Because we're going to, obviously with this deal, we're going to break the British transfer record as well. I'm not too sure what their transfers have been like in Germany. I want to say probably it breaks that as well. I can't remember the deals that's gone on in there. Both parties want this to go through. So I promise you, if they're going to break through, they want him not to play in any game until he's a Liverpool player, so that there's no risk or anything like that. So if they go, today's a breakthrough, they'll get the medical and he won't be in the team. And he'll probably play in the back end game. If it's Sunday, you're saying the last one is?
I think it is, yeah.
So if that's the one, that's probably when he'll play. That's when he'll probably go back to the camp to play that game. Maybe.
Some breaking news ends. It's from Jacobs Ben. Luis Diaz. He says a bid for Luis Diaz from Al Nassr could be imminent after they have received central funding approval to enter negotiations, as they aim to upgrade their attacking options by raiding Premier League ahead of next season. The talk of Luis Diaz and the talk of Luis Diaz leaving is not going away.
I don't want him to leave, bro. I know there's going to be a lot of people that don't want to hear that, and I'm sure they're going to be like, well, we can upgrade on him. That's That's fair, but I really like the player. And I think for me personally, I always look at, he's sharing a position with Cody Gakpo at the moment. And I think they've both done reasonably well in terms of the minutes they've played, the contribution in terms of goals and assists. They're sharing that position. So their numbers are really good for the minutes they're playing. I wonder if one of them just had that position and someone else was maybe the backup, similar to like Salah, and where Chiesa don't really play. Elliott doesn't really get to play. Salah gets all those minutes there, which is rightly so. But on the other side, they've got really good goal contribution. I think what we've done in the past is compared Salah to them or Mane to them, which then we go, now we can get someone better. But then I look around the world, I'm like, yeah, from a technical standpoint, there's probably players out there you can say from a stylistically standpoint that you prefer, which is fair because everyone has their own opinions on the players they like. But from an output, position, there isn't many wingers out there with those outputs.
Yeah.
There's not many. And that's the reason why our fan base, from what I've seen, I don't know majority Liverpool fans, but from the ones I've seen online, the ones I've spoken to on a face-to-face, that has been their main problem, is that these guys are not scoring enough goals. And I'm like, that's fair. Go and get someone else. But then let's see what their numbers are like then. And their numbers are not what these guys are producing. So why would I risk taking an unknown when I've already got the product here that's delivering? But I get it. As I said, everyone has their own opinions on players they love. So let's see. But I don't want him to go.
I think he's deserved a new contract ends.
Same.
I think, when the going gets tough, he rolls his sleeves up, especially in big away games. He can put a shift in. Even PSG game in the second half, he was tracking back. He sometimes you see him in left back areas. And to be fair to Cody Gakpo, he has improved in terms of putting a shift in as well. And you have to give credit to the manager, because if the manager doesn't get that, he just doesn't pick you. Simple as. I love how ruthless he's been with a lot of the players, even in press conferences and on and off the pitch. But when it comes to Diaz, I think he has deserved his contract.
Yeah.
But I think there's a ruthlessness in upstairs at Liverpool as well, where these guys who we've been talking about, the nerds, the laptop guys, the data analysis team, I think there is no sentiment involved, where they'll see you and it's all business.
Yeah.
They'll see he's 28 going on 29. They'll talk about, okay, has he peaked? Probably yes. And if an offer comes, a suitable offer, especially with Saudi, where there's usually a Saudi premium added to that fee, then they will look at it.
Listen, I agree. If the right fee comes, I'm not stupid enough or crazy enough not to think you could probably go and get someone else. But it has to be the right fee. It can't be chump change. It can't be something where I'm like, man, 50 million. And I'm like, I think you can get way more than that for him. Because I know the guy that you're planning to go and replace him with is going to cost a hell of a lot more than that. Because that's the market, that's the transfer market we live in now. Even average players are going for a high amount of transfer fees now. So especially if you know that this player is that club's main asset. So they're not going to wait. They're seeing what we're spending on Florian Wirtz. They're seeing how we're moving in terms of the transfers we've done in the past. They know, right, these guys have money to spend this. And obviously us as fans, we big our club up so much and we talk about transfers so much. These clubs see it. So they're like, well, you're not going to mug us off and not give us the best value for our players. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, if a good deal comes in, then yeah, that's fair. And I think then we have to go and find someone. You're right about the data team. He's 28. So if they see another player, maybe 23, 24, and they can get him for maybe half the price, and they look at the output or maybe how, the data shows that in the next 2 years he's going to be outstanding, they'll take the gamble and go for that player. And it just means Luis Diaz will go.
He's just tweeted again, Josh, as on the Anfield sector. Same again from Jacobs Ben. He goes on to say Luis Diaz is open to leaving and Liverpool will demand a 72 million fee to allow him to go. 72 million? Will we get that?
Yeah, I think you already know how we move in the market with Richard Hughes and Edwards at the moment. They don't really, get mugged off in terms of the transfers. They tend to get what they want. We got 10 million for Trent, which all the club Real Madrid had to do was wait a couple of days and they would have got him for free. Just to kind of show you the levels. And the players we've sold in the past that's played 1 or 2 games and we've got 27 million. We've had, we've got some really good money. Kelleher, 1 year left, got decent money for him as well, you'd probably say. I would have loved to have got more than that, but that's the situation we're in. So I think 72. I think we'll get probably like 70 million. I want it to be pounds though, not euros.
But I think they bid something stupid for Mitoma in January, didn't they? But it was like 90 million.
90
So
million for
if they're
Matoma.
going for Mitoma for 90, I think we'll make sure we'll get 72 million pounds for Luis Diaz. But look, it's a shame that if he does leave, I think it's a shame because I do like the player and I do like his versatility as well. And he wears his heart on his sleeve, and I like those players where a lot of people, their output might be good and stuff like that, but in the big games they hide. I do understand from the club's perspective, and I think Gene mentioned it yesterday, that if the club makes a decision for what we're seeing at the moment, we have to trust them. We have to trust them. So let's see what happens. In terms of his replacement, then Diaz, I mentioned it a couple of shows ago. I would be really, really pissed off, and if we let Luis Diaz go, we don't bring a left-sided winger into the club. Surely they can't make that mistake where they let him go and don't bring in a replacement.
Do you know it's crazy because we've as us as Liverpool fans, and only us would understand this. We've lived through so many transfer windows where we feel like we never do enough, and we always leave ourselves short in most of these windows. So I get where this comes from. I just now believe, I think with the new manager in, I look at him as a person that's very meticulous and a person that looks at the details. So I can't see him going, right, I'm going to lose him and he offered me this amount of goals, this amount of assists, this versatility that I can put him through the middle. And then he goes, do you know what, guys, we'll leave that position and we'll just use Cody Gakpo, and that's what I just don't see that happening. In terms of the replacement, there's so many players that you could probably throw on the list on there, but the links today with Rafael Leao, maybe there was a reason, because Ben coming out today with that tweet, with the links earlier from, and I didn't get a chance to check what paper it was from, but them saying Liverpool, have made contact with Rafael Leao. That potentially could be, that's the link there. Diaz leaving to go Saudi. We then look at Rafael Leao as the replacement. I know there's going to be a lot of reserve from some of the fans because we've seen when he played against us, wasn't really at it in those games. He looked a bit lethargic, looked a bit lazy in some of the moments. But as a player, I think he's a fantastic player. But maybe he just needs the right environment to bring out what you can see him, because he's got fantastic speed. He can score your goal. On his days, unplayable. He's got very good height, can finish left foot or right foot. But if you're in an environment that doesn't require you to do or hold you accountable as much, then you're going to take some time off doing nothing really.
And he's that kind of player where he does split opinion, though, doesn't he?
I know, 100%. I agree, because I've seen the reasons why people say the things they say. I've also seen the other side where I'm just like, no, if you can harness this, if you can get the best out of this is something that you can use to damage teams. But it's whether or not Arne Slot is the right manager, is Liverpool the right platform for him to go and showcase what he's about. I don't know, but I always look at our club. We don't really make bad transfers from a mentality standpoint from players, if that makes sense. Not from, we signed some duds, but I mean, the players we bring in, they're never players that don't want to work hard for the club, don't want to really embrace what Liverpool's about. So if they do look at getting him in, and we just have to trust that the data team has looked at everything and gone, yep, he's the right guy. Arne Slot has looked at him and gone, yep, he's going to offer me what I need him to offer. And then they'll bring him in. If they don't bring him in, then obviously they don't bring him in. But if they bring him in, we have to trust the guys that's behind doing the work they do. Trust them that he's going to be the right guy.
Yeah. I think, look, whenever I watch him play, he's got that taking on ability that we're crying out for, to take a play on the outside. I think that's one trait that we're missing. And if Luis Diaz goes, arguably, look, there's a big question mark in terms of the fitness levels of Chiesa. Salah has lost that, pace and the ability to go on the outside, but obviously he makes it up with elite playmaking skills. But we've lost our probably most natural winger, touchline winger. Even Cody Gakpo likes to come inside, and he's carrying ability. I don't know if you've checked out another player. I think Malik Fofana is a player that has been linked. I tried to do my checkups on him 2-3 days ago, and I got told that we have been scouting him a lot this season. And the one thing that sticks out with him is his carrying ability. And I think his metrics are really, really good. I've not had a look into him myself, but that's what I got told. His carrying ability and his natural speed and taking on ability really excites Liverpool. But I think he's a project.
Yes.
And if you're gonna, take that over reliance away from Salah in wide areas and replace 16, 17, 18 goals that Diaz got, then I would personally want someone more established. Or would you go for someone as a project like Malik Fofana?
If we're going to do that, then we might as well just give Rio the opportunity, because that's a project as well in his own right. Still a young kid, still got lots to learn, still got a lot of development to do. So I'm on the same boat as you. If you're going to do that, I'd rather just give the opportunity to the other ones. But if that's not the road that we're willing to go down, then I need you to go and get someone that's established in the game. Has to be. I think we've made those mistakes in the past where I don't know. It's like we don't go and get the type of players that we've been linked with this season to really like put our feet in the ground and go, now we're a Liverpool Football Club and we're going back to back, or we're going after the big trophies again. We've always got here and then gone, all right, who's the next project? It was like, no, we're not in a project moment now. We've gone past that. We built the project up to get to here. Now we need to go and get those established players. And I'm with you. If we're not going to go and get them, I'd rather give Rio the opportunity. There's no point of giving another teenager the opportunity when you've got one that's, very technically gifted, but you put the work into him and see what you can do with him instead of giving the opportunity to someone else. That's just my opinion. If not, go and get me that established guy that's going to come in and do well.
100%. Keep liking, keep subscribing, and all that good stuff, people. Just like Abdurrahim states, comments, like, share, subscribe. You never walk alone. Let's go to some of the super chats that we need to get through, ends, and then we'll wrap up. As I need to get back to work as well. Rakeen Dama, thank you very much for your super chat. Do you think Diaz can be coached into the 9 position, seen as though he may have Wirtz behind him now instead of Sobo, connector with the work rate? We saw him play in this position this season, didn't we?
I'm kind of split, man. I run a striker, bro. I want an actual 9 there now. I've seen the false 9. I've seen the drifting wide. I've seen the creating space for others. I just want to see a guy up front with the number 9 on his back scoring goals, bro. That's where I'm at. But can he be coached, to your question? Yes, I think you can coach him to that. And I think if Barca was serious about him, I think they obviously Deco spoke highly about him. I think that's the position they were going to use him in anyway. I think they were going to use him Rafinha and Yamal in, and then just rotating. Well, then Rafinha and Diaz rotating more than anything. I think that's how they was going to use him.
Yeah, the thing I like about the PSG fluid system ends is they've got ballers, but every single of those ballers can roll their sleeves up.
Yeah,
and they've got controllers and technicians in midfield, but every single of them, where there's maybe Diao to to a lesser extent, but Barcola, Kvaratskhelia, and even Dembele, they come in, they work hard, press from the front. And with us, with Salah and Liao, for example, I feel like against a low block, 7 out of 10 times, it would work. But in the big games, especially we don't have a natural destroyer in midfield, I think we might be too attacking. But look, Arnie Slot knows better than me. We don't even know how credible these links to Liao are. But another lad that keeps getting some links, I know he signed a new contract. But Ali, thank you very much for your super chat. Gordon is coming home. Would you give me one name, ends? Gordon, Liao, or Barcola? One name. Who would you take?
I'd put Semenyo on that list as well. I know he's not a name that a lot of people kind of think about. Barcola he's a very good player as well. Liao, he has his moments. He's a Gordon. I still don't see it with Gordon. I know he's got a lot of speed and stuff, and I know he's a Scouse lad, and I know. I get it. He wants to play for Liverpool, and he's good mates with Curtis Jones. But if I had to, I'd probably choose Semenyo if I want one. I think the guy has it.
Are you a fan? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a fan of Semenyo, and I know he doesn't go down well because he's not like that benchmark name. He's not that. But when you watch him play, when you watch what he does in the Premier League against defenders, where he makes the game looks easy at times. When he glides past players, he can finish left foot, right foot, and he makes the game looks easy. But
okay. I've watched him quite a bit. Taking on ability, left foot, right foot, very comfortable. His decision making sometimes is a bit off for me.
Still young though, isn't he? You can.
How old is he? 23?
25, I want to say.
25,
I want to say 25. I can double check that.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think he might be 25. He might be 25. Last super chat. Ash, thank you very much. Big up. Diaz, Darwin, Chiesa will leave, and we're going to sign 2 to replace Sobor and Wirtz and Frimpong at times. We'll do the front 3 shifts. Big up, ends. Great to see you on BNR. Big up to you, Ash. Always supporting the channel. Ends.
So Diaz,
he thinks we're going to bring in 2, and these 3 will leave. So on the 6th attacker, Wirtz will, jump in on the left if need be, on the false line if need be, and what we were talking about earlier, Frimpong can cover right wing as well.
And yeah, I do expect Darwin to leave. Chiesa is the one you probably expect him to leave because I don't know how he wins this manager's trust. And then Diaz is the one I don't really want to leave, but I understand from a business standpoint. If he's 28 and the right money comes in and you sell him, and then getting in 2 players would be good. But yeah, he is 25. He turns 26 January.
Okay.
So he's literally only just turned 25. Semenyo just answered.
Semenyo just turned 25, yeah?
Yeah, he's 7th of January. So, we're nearly halfway through we're halfway through the year now, isn't it? So in another 6 months, he's going to be 26. So that's the profile I'm thinking. Explosive, strong, aggressive. You're right in terms of the decision making, but you're coming into an environment that will boost that. You're coming into an environment with Florian Wirtz in there with great decision making, and Salah with decision making there with other players within the team. So he's the one I've got. And plus, he's Premier League proven. So that's why I'm throwing him in the ring as well.
Throwing him in the ring. Ends wants a double raid on Bournemouth this summer.
Makes sense. Get that left side done. Get that left side. And he can play right as well, which helps.
He can do. Brilliant. Ends, thank you so much for coming through, mate. Keep liking, subscribe to BNR. Go and show the love and support to Ends TV and subscribe to his channel as well. It won't be the first time that he's here, I'm sure. We've had some brilliant guests recently, and I'm sure Ends will make an appearance again very, very soon. That's the end of the daily transfer show. We're back tonight. 10:30 is more of our time today these days. 10:30. Oh, there's a late Fergie time super chat. James, thank you so much for your super chat, mate. Great show. Big up, Ends. Let's see what happens, whether we get a breakthrough today, whether we get Wirtz Wednesday, Florian Friday, whatever it is, bring us Florian Wirtz. Thank you very much, and we catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye for now.